Welcome to our first webinar of this, I would say, short mini course about writing and implementation of Erasmus Plus Youth projects. My name is Irina, and today's webinar I will do with my colleague Dana. She will wave at you. Yes. So today is introductory seminar because this is for complete, let's say, newbies, for people who want to know the basics. So we will explain you what is Erasmus Plus youth in general, what is youth exchange, what is mobility of youth workers, and in the end we will answer to the question why you need to do it. So the plan is that now we will just introduce each other, get to know each other a little better. Then Dana will explain the basics about the program, about non-formal education and about youth exchange. Then I will talk about mobility of youth workers, youth pass, and how to become participants of all these things. And then we will have kind of open space where we just discuss why it's cool to organize such projects by yourself. And we will answer all of your questions, so you can just keep track of the questions while we are speaking, and then in the end ask your questions. We will reply to everything. Okay, and maybe just a short round of names, where you're from, what you do in your life, and
how many projects of Erasmus Plus you have participated.
Yes, and you can show it with your fingers, like how many on your fingers. Okay, so please don't be shy, just one by one introduce yourself.
I can do it. Hi everyone, my name is Oksana. I'm from Russia, Yekaterinburg city. I participated in ESC now, and probably I'm searching for another job now.
Okay. So don't be shy.
Let's maybe point who will be next. Like Oksana, choose a person who is next.
Yes. Ты отключила,
Christina.
Hello everyone, my name is Christine. I'm from Siberia, from Tomsk. Actually, we have really hot summer in this year, but don't working. So I work as specialist of youth policy in my university, and I work with youth, and I'm not participating in EVS, but I implementate like some ESC EVS project. So because my organization can to receive EVS volunteers, and I have done 2 projects. I think that's it.
Choose another person.
Yekaterina.
Oh, okay. Hello, my name is Katya. Nice to see you guys. Ramzik, Razmik. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so my name is Katya, as you know, and I have participated in EVS, and I'm working as an English teacher. I'm from Tumen. I miss you guys. Razmik, you're the next.
Thanks, Katya. Hello, everyone. I'm missing you too. I'm Razmik. I'm from Armenia. I'm working in different organizations, financial sector, but I have my NGO and I'm working there too. I participated in Erasmus Plus youth exchanges, but not EVS. Next one will be who will be? Wait, I will choose. Maybe Lilia.
Hi everybody. So yep, my name is Lilia and I'm from Ukraine, from Kiev. I am Young European Ambassador and EU for Youth alumni, as all of us here. I work for the NGO. I'm executive director of the NGO, but we don't work with Erasmus. So for me, this will be a new experience in terms of organizing it. I've participated in a few Erasmus Plus trainings and mobility exchanges. So probably that's all. And I nominate Olga to Brico if she hears us.
Hopefully. She's getting connected, it seems.
Okay, then maybe Alena.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alena. I am from Belarus. I don't have a lot of experience in youth Erasmus projects. Currently, I'm a young European ambassador, and I think that's all for the first round. So I nominate Dana.
So first time that I met with Erasmus was my EVS project. And then I started to work as EVS ESC coordinator in local NGO, which helps disabled kids who live in the orphanage. And right now I also work in Info Center for Erasmus Plus and in European Solidarity Corps in Russia. And I'm writing projects and implement them. And I think after the 10th project, I stopped counting how much I visited. And I give the next word to Anni Khachaturian.
But I think she wrote in the chat.
Oh, yeah, she cannot talk, sorry. But she wrote already.
No. She can, I think.
No, she doesn't have camera, but
yeah.
she's from Yerevan. She's worked for EU communication project currently, but don't have a lot of experience in Erasmus Plus as a participant. Okay, thank you, Annie. Let's give the next word to another Anna. I am afraid I will not pronounce this surname. Anna.
But are you sure that she's here?
Even twice.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. She wrote us. Sorry, I will come a bit later. I am listening, but
okay, she can.
just turning off my camera.
Okay, who's left? Zhenya?
Yes, it's me. I will just switch the camera on for a while because I am also on phone, just for now. Oh, second. Hello. So I am Zhenya and I'm from Armenia. Actually, I want to count how many Erasmus projects I did, maybe around 10, like youth exchanges and training courses, and I also did EVS. So maybe this much. And who is left? I guess no one, right?
I guess Anna came.
Anne? Yeah, she's speaking, but we don't hear.
Can you make it closer the microphone? So.
Anna, you can tell. I will.
You can write in the chat.
Yeah, and I think also Olga didn't introduce. Olga, can you hear us?
Yes, hello everyone. I will not switch on my camera today for the sake of better connection. I hope you can hear me. So I'm from Ukraine. I'm young European ambassador. Actually, I was studying in the European Union. I'm a student in Greece. I was also a Blue Book trainee, but I have rather small experience when it comes to Erasmus Plus, because right before I was chosen as Erasmus Plus student, I also accepted an offer from the Blue Book traineeship. So my chance to become Erasmus Plus student actually did not fulfill. But anyhow, today I will be glad to learn something more about EVS and all the Erasmus opportunities, at least to start, and be glad to see you all.
Okay, thank you. So I think we can start with the content part, right?
Yeah, I guess. Then I will take the word. So I will share the screen.
We can see it, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So yes, guys, I'm glad to see you first time. Unfortunately, I never met you on trainings, but I hope we will meet on the final one. So me and Irina will do for you 3 trainings about Erasmus Plus projects. And in general, if we talk about Erasmus Plus program, it's really huge one. And it has a big budget, which is consists of money from taxes of European Union citizens. But if we take the whole program, it concludes many parts. We already mentioned some student internships, and also it has some parts with the sport, with adults, and so on. And all of these programs are described in a huge program guide, which I don't advise you to read whole because it's more than 300 pages. So just choose the part which with which part of program you want to work. So let's find out where we are in this program. As I said, it has 5 parts: Key Action 1, Key Action 2, Key Action 3, Sport and Job and Activities. And we work particularly with Key Action 1. And this types of program have 2 fields: field of education and trainings and field of use, which has mobility projects for young people and young workers. Some projects connected with young people also are in the Key Action 2 and Key Action 3, but we will not consider them in these webinars. And here we are in this small part. So this part is for young people and youth workers. Youth workers are the people who work with young people directly. So it can be people of different ages. There are basically no limits. If you are a camp leader in a summer camp, if you're a teacher of math, both of them are youth workers. So it shouldn't be just youth center or school or whatever. It's quite wide term, let's say like that. If you are interested in Key Action 1, in Key Action 2, sorry, and Key Action 3, which we will not consider, you can also visit Salta Youth website, because right now it has online course about whole program, including this Key Action 2 and Key Action 3. It's written that it starts from 1st of July, but as it's written below on this web page, they already started it from 1st of June, so you can subscribe in any moment and start the course. They have 6 modules, and each module may be like 5, 6, 7 trainings. So if you're interested in other key actions, you can learn it there. But let's come back to our young people. So what unite all projects in connected with young people is that they are based on non-formal education. Probably you already heard that we have 3 types of education. It's like formal, informal, and non-formal. Formal is the one that we learn in some structured institutions like university or school or college, and it's something where we get certificate in the end, and where the process is quite not only structured but also very formal. Not sure how to say it better. An informal process is the one which we get randomly and sometimes even incidentally. For example, when we see our mom cooking on the kitchen, how she do nice pancakes, and after time we're like, oh, which ingredients you mix, oh, this and this, and that is how we learn something from an informal way. And non-formal is everything else that is not formal and not informal. And to be more precise, it's based on next principles, and main one is learning by doing. So it's something, it means that we learn things only when we, not only, but better when we do them. For example, we learn to cook better if we do them that ourselves, but not just when we look at our mom. Another principle is experiential learning. It means also that we do it through the experience, that we do ourselves, that we see, that we touch, that we feel, that we live through it. Peer-to-peer, it means that we get our knowledge and through this, from other people, from other young people, through the exchange of these experiences. Voluntary principle means that all education in Erasmus projects is only on voluntary principle. If you want to participate, you participate. If you don't want to be in some activity, you cannot be pushed to do anything. Active participation means that participants are welcomed, are expected to be actively participate in the process, to learn, to share, and to reflect on what they learned. And all process in general is focused on these learners, exactly on young people. This Erasmus Plus part of the program that we consider is connected with young people and youth workers. So in the program, we have two types of projects, youth exchanges and mobility of youth workers. Before, we also had here European Voluntary Service, and some of you already mentioned that they participated. I also did my EVS. It was very nice, very warm, because it was in Croatia. But now it's called European Solidarity Corps, and basically it is not in Erasmus Plus program anymore. It's completely another program. It has another budget, another rules, another basically it has not only volunteering now, but also some projects connected with solidarity, traineeships, and jobs. So in our series of webinars, we will not consider them, but if you wish to learn them more, you are always welcome to approach us, and also your teammates or your mentors. I guess all of them are fully aware with the program. So let's start with the use exchange, and we'll take closely what it means. What is it? Here in the text, we see some official definition from the program guide. What is it? But so in general to say, it's some short-term project that goes approximately from 7 to 10 days. And where people from different countries gather together and explore some topic in which they're interested in. It's done in some very interactive format, so where participants can share the knowledge, experience, and learn something new. So it's not some lectures where we sit in university and write something in our notebooks, but it's a process done on practice. Let's say like that. Let's go to some more formal criteria. So to be able to participate in a project, you should be from 13 to 30 years old. However, for each national group, there should be one group leader who can be older than these ages. This person must be just 18 plus, and then no age limit, like up. By formal criteria, such projects can go from 5 to 21 days, but on practice, you will never ever find 21-day project. Basically, it's like 7, 8 days, 9, maybe 10 days. There will be from 16 to 60 participants. It's not including some group leaders. And it will be at least 4 participants from each country. So why people go to such projects, why they want to participate, is it because it's a good chance to discuss the topic in which they're interested in with young people of the same age from different countries, to share this experience and to explore some new things. Also, for some people, for some young people, it's the first experience to go abroad alone without parents, and for some people it's even first time in life to go abroad, because yes, I really met some people who went first time out of their country because of the project. And such projects also helps to develop some personal skills of young people and some soft skills, for example, communication, speaking another language, creative thinking, conflict management somewhere, public speaking, and so on. And such projects also aim to strengthen some values like democracy, solidarity, and friendship. And as it's written in the guide, such projects cannot be considered like academic study trips, or they shouldn't be done for getting money, or as a touristic travels, or for festivals, or just for holiday travel, and so on. Because these projects are for getting new knowledge in some particular field, in some particular topic, and exchange it between peers from different countries. So how usually the day goes on such projects, and in general, not just day. It consists of several workshops. For example, it can be one workshop for 1.5 hours and some coffee break, and another workshop and lunch, workshop, coffee break, workshop, dinner. Participants, as you can see on second photo, by themselves work in some mixed small groups, explore something, brainstorm, and then they present it to their colleagues. As you can see, there are no tables where participants work, so work can be done really everywhere and sometimes even in a hall. And also many activities going outside, outdoor, and it can be also some games, energizers, simulations, and so on. So now I want to give you an example of one Erasmus Plus project, Train Your Digit Brain. It was a youth exchange that happened in Latvia in last September. And we will go day by day so you could understand the flow of the project better. And by this, maybe to understand how in general youth exchanges happen. So on the first day when participants arrived, basically it's more get to know day and team buildings, where participants learn each other's names, learn what's the interest of each other, try to form some mixed groups, and so on. So at first day, for example, we did some quest where participants in the teams needed to make some small tasks by making photos. For example, make a famous picture or funny photo of your team, or as on first picture, imagine your last day of mobility, or as in the second picture, shows some famous movie. So if you recognize the movie, you can write it in the chat. Yeah. And after that, we set some rules with participants together for the project, which we should follow all together. And if not, there can be some punishments. And we also think up some extra ideas for extra activities, which we can do out of our main schedule. And on the second day, participants presented their home tasks in national groups, where they at home made some research how particular how digitalization influences a particular part of our lives. So project was in general about how our digitalization positively and negatively influence on our lives, how we can make it more safe, what is media skepticism, and so on. So in this day, participants told each other how digitalization helped them in daily life, in work and education, in entertainment, in travels, on personal life and relations, and so on. And after all, we make some list of advantages and disadvantages. Yeah. And on the third day, we tried some digital detox. In that day, participants give us all their phones and laptops for 24 hours. And we tried to get connected with ourselves by awakening our senses, by meditations, Then we get connected with each other by developing our communication skills, active listening, nonverbal communication, and so on. And we also get connected with others through the dancing workshop. And we also had workshops for participants where each team implemented something. So on photo, you can see some workshop from a Russian team where we draw in runes on stones. And so we can make some wristband or necklace out of it. It was very meditative time. And on the fourth day, when we finished our detox, it was, by the way, very hard to wake up without alarm. We created some lists of practical and conscious things, what we can do to make this influence of digital technologies less on us. So, for example, from this project from September, I live without notifications on my phone, and it makes me really more relaxed because I don't take my phone every time when it's vibrate because somebody sent me the message. And in the second part of the day, we went to some quest to Riga, and by teams we completed some tasks. But the rule was not to use internet, not to use maps. If we want to orient, we need to ask locals, and so on. Of course, sometimes we use phone for photos, but that's all. Riga wasn't that nice with the weather, but it was anyway a very nice quest. And we finished also the evening in some local bar. I told you before just about daily program, but also in the evening, usually teams do some national evenings when they present their countries, their food and drinks, and it's nice party. But on this project, we did some modern intercultural nights. For example, Russian team did some dancing night where we took some, let's say, hits on Russian language and also songs that are popular in Russia and which has some dancing movements. So we put it on screen and participants could repeat these movements. For example, like skibidi. So it's easy like to repeat these movements. And so what we did after, we made in teams some lists, some guides, how to make our life more safe in some particular sphere, like relations, travel, and so on, work. And we constructed them from these guides, some small projects, so to be able to spread this knowledge to other people outside of the project. So this project is not just for participants that come to the venue, but also for other young people and people in general in the world. So what we do, one team did some video how to keep their body healthy while working on laptop or with a phone and so on. Another team did some card game reality, which can be used when you are in a company of friends and someone is always in a phone and it's like irritating others. So you can print this card and depending on how much you are guilty, you take some green, yellow, or red card and do some punishment. Another team did some practice, movement trust, connection with the body. They also experimented it on us. And one team, actually one guy, did some Telegram bot. He never did it before, but the project is something also to learn something new, as I told. So he wanted to learn Python language a very long time. And he said like, oh, it's a nice chance. I will do it. I will do it. So another participant helped him a bit, but basically he learned how to do some bot in Telegram. We also did some stickers. Yeah, and it also was very new skill for participants who did it. But quality is not the best, but I think it's a very good try. We also had some other projects which is not possible to show, like some research and some song. So in general, as you see, it's not a lectures, it's not like some notes after learning materials, but it's something more interactive. I will also give you some other examples of the project that happened with me, so you could get more impression what can be topic of the project. For example, King's Speech project was about public speaking. We learned how to make the flow of the session, how to make the body movements during your performance, and so on. Reinvent project was about project management and event management, especially for NGOs. Hip hop entrepreneurship was gathering people who are interested in hip hop industry, some dancers, singers who like rap and who draw graffiti. So we're working for different directions, and in the end, participants show their performances or draw something. Like this graffiti was done in some student town of Zagreb city. And also during the project, we were exploring how our hobbies can be, how from our hobbies we can do our work and we can earn money on it. So it was more about social entrepreneurship, but through hip hop topic. Another project is Young Drivers, where we raise awareness among young people and also locals that texting while driving is quite dangerous. So we recorded some videos, we made some promotional materials like stickers, book leaflets, and we also made some performances in Vilnius city on Zebra, where some cars are stopping, and we made some performances they are interested in, and we give some leaflets to them so they can read materials and be more aware of the topic. Actually, after this project, I started to be really nervous when somebody switched songs on the phone or anything do while driving. It makes me really nervous. And another project is soft skills for future employment, where where young people from different countries explored some soft skills like communication, public speaking, creative thinking, conflict management, teamwork, and many others, which can be useful for them in future, because when we all finish university, we are all equal for our employers, and to choose somebody with education, no experience is a bit difficult. So the project was about that if we have some additional skills, we look more nice for our employers. And is here some two nice pictures in the middle. It shows that for me, young youth exchanges are very cool projects where it's a good chance to meet people from all over the world. Okay, from all over the Europe. And something really nice, something really funny and stupid sometimes happening there. It's all about youth exchanges, and on the right you can see some pictures of Irina, because we implemented the project together and facilitated it. So I give my word to her, Irina.
Yes, I'm here. Just a second. Okay, guys. So now you know about basics of the program and about youth exchanges. And whoever has the camera on, please show us your mood. Good mood, like normal mood, or bad mood. If you have your camera on, okay. Perfect. Somebody has sunglasses. Cool.
By the way, it was Lion King movie. I congratulate Katya.
Lion King, yeah, somebody knows. Okay, and I will be talking about the mobility of youth workers. I will share my screen now, and about some other things also, but I will start with mobility. So I hope you can see, right? Okay. So whatever you see on the screen is like official, also official things from the guide. And I will just explain it in simple words that youth exchange is for young people. It's like there is no criteria to take part there, just your age, your country, but in general, anybody with any kind of knowledge, skills, whatever can take part. So this is open. And mobility of youth workers is designed for youth workers who actually can use somehow their knowledge So these are pedagogues, youth workers, people who work in some social institutions, and they can have access to young people or to a certain audience of people with whom they can practice the skills. So these are people who already kind of know what they want to do professionally. So so yes, this is not open really for everybody, but in many cases, even if you are not officially employed in some organization, but you are a volunteer or active leader, you can still take part in this thing. So what are the types of these projects? There are most common ones. These are the ones you can see on the, for me, this is left side, I think, seminars and training courses. These events, they take part normally for 7 days, and they gather a group of youth workers. Usually it's like 2, maybe 3 people from one country. And there is a facilitator, also like in a youth exchange, but the topic is more designed for professional, let's say, implementation and for professional life. For example, if youth workers want to learn how to use digital tools in their work, or if they want to learn how to make online courses or some other skills, or if they want to learn how to work with young people, for example, with migrant background or with some other kind of specific background. So it totally depends on the topic which was foreseen before. So this is normally for 7 days, and the group which comes there, it's normally, I would say, 25-30 people. Then another, let's say, second popular thing is contact making events, study visits, and partnership building activities. This is designed not really to learn about a certain topic, but more to meet each other. So if you want to make new partnerships, if you are looking for some new ideas for projects, if you want to know how, for example, youth workers do their job in another country, then you can go for this study visit or partnership building activity, and you have a look how it works in another country, and at the same time you share how it is in your country, and then you make new partners, maybe new friends and connections. So this is designed more for communication. And there is the third one, which is less popular, and it's called job shadowing or observation period in a youth organization abroad. And it's really a pity that nobody uses it so much, because this is also opportunity which is right there for you. So you can just take it, and actually job shadowing can take up to 2 months. So if for a seminar or a training course, you can go for a week, also for contact making event, just 7 or 8 days. Then for job shadowing, you can go for a period from 2 weeks to 2 months. And you can actually have kind of internship in organization abroad and get immersed into their daily life and learn how they work. I will talk about this later. These are some pictures. As Dana mentioned before, in youth exchange and also in seminar and training course, these methods which are used are methods of non-formal education. So usually you sit in a circle, you can speak up at any moment, you can share, there is a lot of discussions, brainstorming and stuff like this. So these are active forms of participation. This is example which you see on the picture of contact making event which took place once on the boat, where participants from different countries, they went from a Russian city, Samara, they went to Nizhny Novgorod by river boat, and they visited some organizations which are working with volunteers in Samara. Then they boarded on the riverboat, and they were making partnerships there, getting to know each other, how everybody works. And after a few days by boat, they came to Nizhny Novgorod, to my city, and then they got to know organizations which are working here. So this was this kind of interesting format when it was done on the way. And these are pictures from my own job shadowing when I went to Estonia for 1.5 months, and I was how to say, I was a shadow of a youth worker in a youth organization in Estonia for 6 weeks. Every day, daily, I was following how they work. I was taking part in their activities. I was suggesting something that I know from my youth work in Russia, and I was learning what they do in their youth work in Estonia. And again, just like in youth exchange, all of this was covered by European Union. So travel costs, visa costs, food, accommodation, all of this was covered, and anything I needed for the project, like some materials or whatever. For example, this picture which you see, it's there was a youth forum in which I took part in Tallinn. We organized a youth media forum with this organization. And the second picture is a living library. So I also took part in organization of this living library. So to sum it up, mobility of youth workers is designed to give opportunity to people who actually work with young people to learn more about this, because it's not exactly something that you can learn in a university. This is supposed to be experiential learning, and you can learn a lot from your colleagues from other countries. So it's nice to meet in such seminars, in such training courses, learn something new. And then it's also very important is that you take this knowledge and you bring it home and you implement it in your home country. It's not just for fun. It's not just to go abroad and meet new people. This is something that you can do back home with this knowledge and make life of your young people, I don't know, brighter, better. They will learn something new from you. Okay, another thing which is very important to know in this project is about Youth Pass. Youth Pass is a certificate which you will get, or any participant of youth exchange or mobility of youth workers will get whenever you finish such project. This is something you can put in your portfolio and first of all, confirm your participation, and second of all, reflect on the competences which you received during this project. So even though these are projects of non-formal education, anyways, there is a kind of formal certificate which confirms that you were there according to 8 competences. These competences you can see on the screen. There is also a part which is called kind of other, where you can add something which doesn't fit into these categories. So some of these categories, they really make sense and they are really important. But I would say that, for example, not in every project we acquire mathematical competence, because it's not so much about mathematics or science. But we learn a lot, for example, about cultural awareness, because we meet people from other countries. There is a lot of, this is again my subjective opinion, but there is a lot of learning to learn development competence, because you learn how to organize your own learning process. Not everywhere, again, we improve digital competence, but it may happen. So really, you can combine your certificate with those skills which you think that you acquired. You don't have to add everything. But this is kind of a framework which was offered and which is offered by the European Commission. This is what you see on the screen is approximately how it looks like. This is the first page. There is name and last name, dates, where it took part, and then there is a confirmation, then there is a stamp and signature of the person who was responsible for this project. And it's possible that there will be second and third or more pages where you describe what kind of skills you have acquired. So again, to sum it up, we confirm our experience with this, so we can put this into our resume to get hired better in the future, something like this. Then we reflect on our experience, so we kind of look back and we realize what we did in this training course or in this seminar, why it is helpful for us. So it's really useful to look back and to analyze. And this is a learning which is made structured. It's not just chaotic learning, I would say. Okay, and the last thing which I will talk to you about, this is about how to become participants. This information you will need not just for yourself, but also you will need this information to share with people who are interested with, let's say, your target audience. Yeah. Can anybody write me if you can see my screen? Okay. So this is the first what to say, resource and the most the fullest one, where you can see different training courses. This is called European Training Calendar. This is based on the website of Salto. And you can actually get email notifications. So if you don't want to search through this by yourself, like from time to time, here I'm showing it now, email notifications. You can just subscribe and you will know. But otherwise, you just press find training offers. And then you write, for example, that I am from Russia. Where is Russia? So I'm from Russia and I'm looking for a training course. I don't really care about the dates. I just want to see all options. Search. So for the moment, there are 5 training courses in which I can take part. And
we don't see your screen.
You don't see my screen? Really?
It's a screen, but with a presentation. You have something else?
Oh my God, really? Okay, I just opened this European training calendar and I saw that you can see it. Sorry. Okay, let's do it like this. I'm just gonna send you the link in the chat to this calendar. It's really easy to browse it. Just a second. Oh my God, I have been in this Zoom for 3 months already, but I still don't know how to use it properly. Yes, somebody wrote here. Okay, I'm sorry. So this is this calendar, right? I would suggest that you just get subscribed to the notifications and just see what happens. Really, just see what kind of offers they will publish there. You will get each new training there. Option 2. Option 2 is that you find active organizations in your country. I think that you know these organizations because you are alumni, but you can also ask your organizations if there are some other ones, or just Google them and subscribe to their social media, because just like it's mentioned on my slide, these projects are unicorns. Really, they are pretty rare. And I would say that for people from our countries, not from European Union, they are really rare. I mean, of course, some people took part in numerous projects, but that's because they knew where to look for them. But for wider audience, sometimes it's really not reachable because they don't know where to look, or they don't find these offers in a proper time. So to be able to find them in a proper time, you should subscribe to the news, to the social media of active organizations in your country. And sometimes they would publish some calls because they don't put it into some training calendar, because training calendar is like a huge hub and many people visit it and many people have subscribed to their news. And sometimes when you apply through this European training calendar, your application is, I don't know, 1 out of 500. And then you have to have really strong application and really strong motivation. But if you subscribe to the news of some active organization in your country, then there are higher chances because, for example, they have 2 or 3 spots for people from your country. And since you know them, or since you can describe your motivation better to them, they will select you. Okay, this is another option, second option. And third option is do it yourself. Really create these spaces for participants from your country and for yourself, also by yourself. Especially if you already took part several times just as a participant and you feel strong enough to do it as an organizer. So if you do it yourself, really, problem solved. You definitely have a spot there as an organizer, and you can take several people with you. And about how to do it yourself, we will talk in our next webinars. Okay, and now we invite you for a little discussion. I think I'm gonna stop demonstration of my screen. We invite you to a little discussion why it is cool to be organizers of such projects. And I think that maybe me and Dana, we can start just with some of our ideas and then you join with your opinion. What do you think? Okay. Dana, maybe you start, I drink some water.
Okay. So as I mentioned, like not that much projects are part of the youth exchanges, so training courses. Like considering Russia, you hardly can see them. You can find them. For example, some organizations can post it maybe like 3-4 times per year, but it's maximum. I know the situation is better in Ukraine and Armenia and Georgia, but I guess in Belarus and Azerbaijan it can be the same. So when I was on my EVS in Croatia, it was, I never heard about youth exchange trainings before my EVS, and my organization hosted a couple of projects when I was there. And it was like a new world for me when I saw that several people from different countries gathered together, and they're not just living together and do something, but they learn many things, and they built very good connections between others. And for example, on my first training course in Croatia, which was about some dance tools for dance teachers, I met one girl, and she was a participant. She was from Ukraine, but lived in Spain. And maybe 2 years after that, by chance, I went to Spain to some contact making seminar, and I met her as a trainer. Seems like a small world. So I explored this world of Erasmus, and I really became interested in it. And I started to write projects and facilitate them. And what it gives me, why I like it so much, is that I meet people from different countries and I have a chance to learn something from them. Not just about their cultural things and traditions about other countries, but also some new skills, new attitudes, a lot, and some new points of view. Like some experiences were for me really impressive, like when I met some Syrian guy who is immigrant, refugee in Portugal, there was many others. Let's don't go to examples. So like this small meetings of different people means sometimes a lot for me. And with some of them, I still keep some friendships and even work. Also, it's for me, this Erasmus Plus is about skills. For example, when I started to facilitate projects, I could hardly speak on the public. I did it very quiet, very slow, or very fast. There was anything in the middle. So once I did 1.5 hours workshop for 45 minutes. Good. So just time by time, I learned this a lot of new skills for me, not new, but improved ones. Yes, something like that. Ira, wanna continue?
Yes, I'm here. So about me, I think that this implementation of Erasmus Plus projects, first of all, it was about self-realization. I really wanted to do it myself because I saw it as the next step after I took part several times, because I thought, okay, I can be a participant several times, but then after several times you understand that more or less topics can be the same, or sometimes I don't know, sometimes I felt like I'm strong enough to do it myself. So I started to do it with my more experienced colleagues. Actually, the first time I did it as a logistic person. So I was just a person who would put out coffee breaks, who would help with transportation, you know, such practical stuff. But it allowed me to be there, to follow how it works, and also be a part of it, even though in Russian we say na побегушках, like you know, like I was just practical stuff. But then my more experienced colleagues, they were really kind to offer me to be like a co-trainer. So for several training courses I was with them, and when you do this also you learn so much about yourself. Like you learn how you react to certain things, you learn what are your weak points. Like for example, maybe Dana remembers it also from youth exchange in Bulgaria. I was really meeting my nerve when all those participants, they were late, like many of them were late, and I don't know, but it bothered me so much. I was furious, and I was like really many things were going on in my mind. But you know, learning to cope with such situations and learning to also get them interested, this was important and interesting to find out about myself. So all in all, I would say that even though it's sometimes can be challenging to organize such projects because you have to think about many things at the same time, this is a really worthwhile experience if you are willing to feel uncomfortable sometimes. I hope you get what I mean. Yeah, so really now you can turn on your microphones and you can tell your opinion about this, or if you have no opinion, you can ask questions. Don't be shy, guys.
Can I?
Uh-huh.
I wanted to say that the biggest motivation for me to participate in this kind of projects, and why I decided to apply to be alumni, it will be so great feeling if I will help some youth people to change their lives, to improve their lives. I think that's everything. And also, I like to feel connected with the people, with you guys, who thinks the same way, who is open-minded. You know what I mean? Without stereotypes, and this friendship between countries, that's really priceless. And when you participate in this kind of projects, that's amazing.
And also when you organize it, the feeling is similar, yeah? Because
yes, of course, if you help someone to change their way of thinking, to be part of this, and I'm sure they will enjoy to help the peace on the world, to make it. That's all.
Okay. There is a question from Lilia. I will just read it. If we are an NGO based in Ukraine, should we look for some EU-based NGO to carry out some mobility project? Is it possible to do without EU-based partner? Unfortunately, no, because, and we will talk about it in the next parts, in the next 2 weeks, that to be able to implement such project, you need a good, trustful partner, someone that you can closely work with, partner in European Union, because only organization in European Union can apply for this. But there is a what about Dan? About Eastern Partnership Youth Window?
Yes, I was thinking about it. So, like in our countries, Eastern Partnership and Russia, we don't have any national agency which have a budget to give to our projects. That's why we need European organizations to apply it, because only they have money to give for a project. I know that for Eastern Partnership, like all these 6 countries except Russia, before there was opportunity to apply to Eastern Partnership window directly to Brussels. But I'm not 100% that it still exists, to be honest, because I heard about like 200, like about 15 or 17 in 17, I think 2017 it was, but not sure about now. You can ask your organization, your mentors, I guess.
Yes, for sure. Mentors in your country, they know better about this. But if this is a youth exchange or mobility project, which we were talking about now, and we were talking now about so-called key action 1 of Erasmus Plus Youth Program, then for sure you need a partner in Europe, because only partner in Europe can receive money to their account, and then they will distribute this money for the project among all other partners, let's say. Okay, second question. If our organization has never implemented any Erasmus Plus project, how difficult it is to get a project? It doesn't really matter, I think, right? The previous experience.
I would say you don't have to do your first project on your own. Firstly, you can be a partner in some other projects with your partners and test on yourself how it's happening. But you can also apply to the problems that you didn't have experience. I would advise in this case to get as a partner some organization who have experience and who can share this knowledge with you and help with some processes. But basically, Erasmus Plus program is always welcoming some new participants. Yeah. They don't like when their old partners who know each other 15 years do the same projects all the time. Yes,
actually, we will talk about this and also in the next webinars, and I will share some life hacks because I'm evaluating projects for one national agency, and it is really valued if there is some new partner in the project application, because if there are all the same organizations which apply for many years, they don't welcome anybody new. This is not encouraged, let's say. And your next question, where we can find potential partners, we will answer in the next webinar, because the point of our webinar today is to give just general information and just basics. And second and third webinar will be more practical. Now we just get an idea. Maybe some other questions, thoughts, just what you think.
Does any of you have been organizer already of any Erasmus Plus project maybe?
Yeah, maybe somebody already.
I am not organizer, but I participate in different youth exchange. So yeah, I agree with you. It's good experience. Yeah, I really like it, and I agree also with this point that if you participate in several, for example, youth exchange, you want to organize all youth exchange, and it's really cool.
So we will try to learn. We will try to learn how to do it together. Okay, guys, there are some new faces which we missed. Okay, what are the mechanisms which prevents corruption in Erasmus projects? Wow, that's interesting. I'm not sure I can answer that. About corruption, what I can say, for example, because I'm evaluating projects, every time when we get these applications, they ask us, can you have a look at the list of partners? And if you are somehow associated with this or certain partner, if there are friends or relatives or anybody working in this organization, then you can tell us about that, and we will give you another application. So there is no conflict of interest. But you mean something different. it was clear that in the project where you participated, a lot of money was misused. I don't know.
I can try to explain. Okay, corruption, if it happens, I believe it happens on another level during evaluation, because some people from some NGOs tell that, oh, these NGOs are always getting some projects and we are not. I'm not sure if the issue inequality or something like that really happens. About this example in Slovakia, let's say it's not corruption, but it's how the hosting organization will earn more money. Because we will discuss the budget later, but after the project, some money still stay for the development of organization, for work of organizers and trainers or facilitators, and so on. So in this case, I guess they wanted to earn really a lot of money, and that influenced on the quality a lot. So I wouldn't advise this organization to go there again, but it happened, really, yes.
Yeah, of course, because it is normal that the work of the people who organize such projects should be paid. The question is that it should be paid adequately. It shouldn't be really huge amounts. It should be comfortable accommodation, should be good food, should be good conference room.
Logistics.
Logistics, yes, all of this. So you have to, you cannot be hungry, you cannot live in a shithole. You know, you have to have some decent things. But if it happens, for example, if you took part in this project in Slovakia and you could see that they were, let's say, laundering money, you can report about it to the national agency, to the organization which funded this project. So in future, they talk to this organization and they prevent it from happening, I would say. Okay.
Let's say sometimes they, after such cases, they can come to the project, which will happen next time, and they will make a review, the
monitoring.
Checking, yeah, monitoring.
Yeah. Maybe some other questions. Okay. Really, if something comes to your mind after the webinar, when we hang up already, you can also write to our email and you can ask us later. If not, then let's enjoy our evening, right? You can put on your microphones just to say goodbye, maybe.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for this webinar and bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, guys.
Yeah. So the
See
next
you in a week.
webinars are also on Tuesday at the same time. So we will see you there. We will send you the link again.
Okay.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Bye bye.